Hello there and welcome to today's video, which is the second video of this playlist as Rome versus other ancient civ played by the perspective by choosing wide system here, what's the importance of this and so forth. So we'll dive straight back in. The first thing we'll do is we'll look at our historic timeline. So we have our historic timeline. So we founded Rome near a river that's on the floodplains. We have our villages, so we found a tribal settlement that gave us some benefits, which was a relic which came to our pantheon, which we chose the god of war, as Mars was one of the major gods of the Roman pantheon. We also have met Egypt. So as you can see, Egypt is down here in Alexandria, and then we also found that we have flooding here. So what we're probably best to do, knowing that we're flooded, we're going to put our city over here, away from the floodplains, but able to reap the benefits. And we can also probably want a city about here too. And then maybe move this city more here onto this other plains, into the rainforest, to utilise the wood there for our settlements. So as we see our scouts over here running away, doing finding this tribal village, as well as scouting out the territory over there. We haven't finished mining working, so our workers aren't really doing much, and our warrior is just gonna sit by the city and just protect Rome if there's any barbarians coming around. So we've ended this turn and we're now producing more scouts, because the more knowledge of the
when you find yourself in a hole,
great.
quit digging.
So with this game, like, little quotes will come up. So this is a quote from Will Rogers, which says, "Once you dug yourself a hole, just quit digging." So now we've got that, we can start to utilise building mines. These mines will produce production from them. Not entirely sure what they're mining. Maybe the stone, but then you would think that would be quarry. But in this case, I'm guessing they're mining the earth. So we want to choose our next one. Probably the best would be pottery to utilise the floodplains, because we're able to create a brick bath if we're able to in time or whatnot. But what's quite useful is pottery enables us to build a granary, which is about storing food and helping with not only housing but food production, as well as allow us to utilise using rice down here. So we'll send this scout all the way up here towards the Anacorn Desert as it runs away. We also have this scout here. Well, let's send this scout this way. Let's try and get as much territory around us as possible. Interesting, runs up that way as well. So we now got our scout here. We can chop down some trees, which will be quite useful, because then we can use the resources for building maybe another scout, or in this case we want to build another settler to produce our next city, which will be down here. So as this scout's moving up here, probably want to have a city up here as well, and city, so all of our, in this sense Rome is protected, but Rome does this, as any civilization, you want to have more cities to build up your more civilization, to build up production and so forth. And we've apparently discovered a new continent. Yeah, Lemian, which is down here. So we'll move this scout down along here. There's a volcano that's going to be erupted right next to our borders, but it shouldn't really affect us because we're far away enough to not be affected. So as our scouts keep running around, doing what they do best, scouting the land. This is a period 3480 BC, which is where a lot
Every nation lives by exchanging.
Which is true, trade is an essential part of any civilization. If you want to get far, trading is very important. So we'll chop down this forest, build up some production, but also by deforestation, which happens a lot in this time, you clear up more land for farming. The next thing we'll probably go for is mysticism. We want to start to question our way in the world, and we've found Persia.
تو پیشی کوروش بزرگ پارسی ایستاده ای. دانم که زود دوست شویم. حد کمی استهنون رای.
So Persians are a classical period, but they do have their roots in Iran in the Bronze Ages with some of the nomadic people there from the Media and the Persia tribe, Parthian tribe. So we've just found our new tribal village, which has given us technology boost of masonry and also added to our area points. And we can keep moving our scouts, keep scouting the lands, and we'll put an extra farm. So we have some food production and so our people can, and we've also met India.
अखंड जम्बुदीपस्य मौर्यस्य अधिराजा अहं चंद्रगुप्तो न इदं मम सिसे अनुपविष्यतो.
So it's an honour to meet you. We'll exchange capitals because then we know that Persia's down here, so they're quite far away, and India is not too far away too. We've got a tribal village, but most likely India will take it. But we're looking like we've got quite a few aggressive neighbours. India with the Mauryan Empire is considered one of the first empires to fully unite India. And we can see he's given us the delegation. We could give a delegation back, which is the right thing to do, as Rome tends to be quite honourable in its diplomacy at first, and then later on they do start to become a bit more mischievous, as any civilization comes. So what we'll do is we'll go on diplomacy and we'll send our delegations to Egypt, to Persia and to India. So we start having this good relations, because Rome, you know, it's only really they start to have border friction once you have real borders setting up. But at the moment we have our scout is being attacked by some barbarians up here in the north, so we'll move him away, if possible, across the river, the Olfanta River, into the Anaconda Desert. We've got the scout here who's just found an Indian city-state. And we'll keep scouting down into through this desert, onto these floodplains, increasingly closer to Persia. And we found Jolo, which is a food city-state, as well as gives you luxury resources of this and this. Interesting. So we've noticed there's probably an barbarian encampment up here, so we're best to keep our eyes up in the north to see what's happening. We'll send our scout along this river. We found some oxens over here. Keep scouting. We're just about to found our pottery. We finally know how to make our little pots for storage. We should hit Sean Bean in a second. Pop up.
No man ever wetted clay and then left it, as if there would be bricks by chance and fortune.
Which is a famous saying from Plutarch, which is a classical historian. During when Rome starts to spread its hegemony over the world. So the next, more realistically, writing in this game, writing would be the best thing to go for to build up science. But we're trying to play this as archaeologically as possible, and the next thing would be actually animal husbandry, to learn how to domesticate animals, both sheep and horses. Interestingly enough, in this game around this time, this would be one of the first things, along with farming, that people would already know. So we're starting to see we found another city-state of Ithia over here. Keep moving down with this scout, following the river. He's found some vineyards. And someone has built the Temple of Poseidon already, which is interesting. which most likely would be Dido or Coupe, since they both tend to normally start on the coastal area. So we found another tribal village here, past the Brisbane River. Sounds very ancient. We're following this wild river down here. Cross over, and we've found another little bit of desert with some elephants walking around it.
Eu mei em rimat shautiu em paiter. Ente kiswa en yem.
So one of the traits that Cleopatra has is she likes male civ leaders, but also strong militarily, and that you could say that could be us. So what we're going to do is we're going to move our... She's not going to come this way because most likely the hills and mountains will discover. But what we can do is we'll move our city over here, move our settler over here, and what we can do is, you know, we can start building the Great Bath. We could buy a bit of tile and start to build that. What I will do is, just in case we don't lose it, we can reuse the production and build some settlers to make sure we start to build an empire. Because this is the period where you can see lots of cities will start to spring up, both in the real world but also in this game. You start to want to have to build a, and we found a tribal village as well, which is going to be quite handy for us. Any little perks will be helpful, and we found another one again here in the Vindia range.
Mysticism is the mistake of an accidental and individual symbol for a universal one.
So what we can do is, if we had any wildcard policies, we go for profit or science. Most likely we would profit, because this is where some religions start to be formed, because people are questioning the way of the world. And we've now created a population boost in the tribal village. They obviously don't want to live here, they want to live in our civilization. So they've moved, so we have some migration happening. And what will go is craftsmanship, and then we start to have things we could use to sell. Who would we go for? We could go for Jolo, because they are food production and they're the closest to us. So what we'll do is try and get for this tribal little village over here. Keep running down, and we found Macedon.
Caire, Alexandros ho Μακεδόνιμη, Basileos και Παραώ, ho aesetos strategos tes Elados, arou akekwas perimou.
So it's an honour to meet you in exchange capitals, and we found out that Pella, their capital's very close, so this could be an interesting. They might go to war with us because we're probably the closest to them, and Macedon likes to conquer, which is going to be quite fun. So we've now found our tribal village, but we've got a barbarian camp and we can't run away. But can we promote ourselves? So it adds that extra defense. Lots of government policies we can use. No, not really. We've already looked at those. And we'll end our turn on to the next one. So it's a good thing we're moving our delegation is most welcome, yes. But because we know we're going to have friction with Macedon, I don't really want to send one back and start to lay some claims. So we'll put some attack markers down to indicate where we want our city, while our scout teams are getting beaten up by barbarians down past Persia. And our scout is heavily almost dead, so let's make him run away as fast as he can. The scout can move around Vesuvii. Nice volcano, probably in reference to Vesuvius. So we'll move our city up here, and we'll put some markers down. So we want to have a city right here on the hills, and we want to have another city over here to form a buffer between Alexander and us. Maybe we could put some more cities down, so we know where we're going to be putting some cities. So put a city here, maybe another city over here, and a city here. And I believe we can put a city over here. So as you can see, we're starting to form up advanced planning, and this is what, from tactical knowledge, where you would want to start putting your cities in viable locations for best use. So at the moment we seem to be naturally defended by Egypt, by mountains along here. I don't know if there's anyone up here city-state wise, but we've found, I think, the ocean is starting to come up from here. Alexander, we're going to need cities to be our natural fortification, and India, I'm not entirely sure, but if there's anything to do with this ridge here, which seems to be a mountain range and volcano, I'm sure there's going to be a mountain range along this side that could be added benefits for both defense but also for science and holy sites. Since holy sites, especially for the Hellenistic world and Romans, they tend to be up high on hillsides which can overlook areas so people can see it as they're coming from or to the location. So we'll keep looking over here. We found a barbarian, and we seem to be having a city-state here as well. We'll move this scout downwards this way, and this scout can take the little goodies up, and we've got a boost to the wheel, technology for the wheel. And we can move this scout. He's barely injured, but you know, scouts are scouts. They're easily thrown away.
اگر فریب شاید خواهم که پدستی من عباس باید.
So what we have here is Persia indicating that I'm not doing enough intrigue, which is trying to get as much gossip on my neighbours as possible, which is kind of right. But we've got a barbarian out. Probably we haven't got enough money to just solely produce a slinger or that. What we can do is start to build up a warrior base. So we start building up a bit more of a stronger military for tough times, because he'll have to run all the way back to his barbarian outpost, which could be over here or up here. We're not entirely sure, but it might take a while, so it gives us time to plan ahead. So the scout's running along, making sure, see what he can see, as well as this one can start to run. And we found the city of Zanzibar, so that could be good, useful for a buffer.
Yoduratho uttamo pativassako. Idani tvameva jambudipassa uttamo pativassako.
This is in reference to Jambagutta invading, conquering fellow Indian nations. So he likes neighbours that aren't close to him, because it means he doesn't feel like he has a casus belli or a reason to conquer us.
I am fond of pigs. Dogs look up to us. Cats look down on us. Pigs treat us as equals.
This is in reference to, well, Winston Churchill, but it has some historical evidence to it, where we seem to be from the knowledge is that actually dogs were one of the first animals to be domesticated, followed by cats, and then domestic livestock, which like pigs, but mostly it was sheep and goats, and horses were one of the last domesticated animals. And we found that we have some horses down here, which is fantastic. So we could be utilising that when we put a city down here. So the next thing archaeologically we would go for would be the wheel, which interesting enough takes us a lot longer than us learning a writing system. So this is the game trying to push you towards writing. So we, in probably around about 2960, we do see writing systems of the cuneiform, which is the Mesopotamian script language, and then hieroglyphs, which is the Egyptians. So we'll go for writing, although the wheel would be a lot first. So it's interesting how they do their technologies, where you'd think things would be happening at the same time, aren't necessarily happening at the same time. So to make even better pottery actually would be the use of the wheels. You have wheel-made pottery, but in this case I guess our pottery is just style mud brick houses, which we somehow had the knowledge to make before even having pottery. So we'll accept her delegation because they send us a bit of money, showing that they respect us, or acknowledge us, let's put it that way. So we'll keep moving our scout down here, and we found like another viable place for a city maybe over here, utilising again, trying to use the natural barriers as defensible locations. We found another tribal village, which is fantastic, despite our scout being very badly injured and possibly going to be dying soon, but he's doing a good enough job to survive as long as he can. So we're moving up and we want to settle our next city over here, and I probably want to put a city up here because I'm not really worried that of Alexandria moving up here. She probably will go maybe towards the floodplain to utilise Egypt's trait of being on the floodplain in reference to her. And we found a city-state over here, which is quite nice. So we'll take this tribal village, and it's given us 20 faith, so it could be a way to having a religion, which could be quite useful. And Alexander beat us to the Great Baths, but that's fine, because we can use that production to build our settler, and our settler is right on its way to becoming produced, should I say. So we seem to be found, yes, so we have another great natural barrier here. So I would like to put a city here and utilise the mountain ranges, but also as an extra defensible point from Persia, which is a very expansive empire, as well as India. I think India will be protected by this mountain range over here. Oh, well, we found a mountain range here. Let's see if we can come a bit further this way and see what happens. So what I might do, I'm going to do is build a bio warrior, so instantly train a warrior, just so we can have our settler protect. And we found another city-state, or city, civilization.
Caire, ho pericles ton Athenone imi, kai dexiumai se hepetes demokratias.
So we found Athens, who is all the way down here, and we've just run into the city of Corinth. So what we'll do is I'm going to end the turn here because it's about 20 odd minutes, which is where I wanted to try and keep my videos about 20 minutes. We could see that Egypt has already produced 2 settlers, but one seems to be going down this way and one seems to be going down that way. So that's quite nice. They're not going towards us, so I don't have a fear for them. I'm just more fearful towards Alexander and his supposed conquests that could be happening. So this is where I end, and I'll catch you tomorrow for the 3rd video of this playlist. Enjoy the rest of your day.